sometimes forget that I moved to LA. I'll wake up in the morning and be like, where the fuck am I? I needed a change. I was not feeling very happy in the Bay Area, and this was where my journey led me. Part of that journey is something that I call self-care. You guys have heard this term before, I'm sure, and when I posted about my move on Facebook and Tumblr, you asked me to make a video about it. So here I am. What is self-care? I think that this term, with people who haven't heard it before, they're like, that sounds like some hippie shit, and maybe it is a little bit, but it's also just life skills. This is important stuff. Self-care is the act of taking care of yourself. And the idea that, hey, that's kind of important and we forget to do that sometimes, or maybe we don't know how to take care of ourselves sometimes. Self-care is important for a lot of reasons, but most of those reasons can be chalked up to the fact that, hey, it's kind of rough being a human being sometimes. We have a lot of feelings up here, we have complicated relationships, we have a lot of pressure, work pressure, school pressure, social pressure, and on top of all of that, I think that the fact that we have screens in front of us all the time, like cell phone, iPad, all these things all the time, bombards us with information, and I think that it does lead to overstimulation. I think practicing good self-care is further complicated by the fact that we live in a capitalist society. This is a society that values worker productivity and getting a lot done and pushing yourself to the limit. And to be sure, being productive is a great thing, but not when it means that you're not taking care of yourself and you're kind of falling apart on the inside, right? What we do not value, I have found in my extensive 26 years of existence, is meandering a little bit, you know? Meandering through life, getting lost in our journey through life, slowing down. We do not value that. People don't even take their vacations. Why don't we take breaks? Those things are good for us. It's good for our mind and our body and our soul and our creativity. And it actually helps us be more productive if that's what the end goal is. For me, productivity is not my end goal. My end goal is to grow as a person and to live life wholly. And so self-care helps me do that too. Let's talk about the how of self-care. How can you practice it? Everyone practices self-care a little bit differently because self-care is about your own personal needs, and everyone needs things that are a little bit different, and what you need right now is not going to be what you need a year from now, so it's always in flux. So I'm going to talk about what self-care looks like for me based on what my needs are. Step one for me is basic survival stuff. Am I drinking enough water? Am I eating nutritious food? Am I showering enough? Usually not. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I going outside and moving my body enough? These kinds of things. Basic adulting. Two is to make sure my social needs are being taken care of. When I graduated from college and all of my friends and I, we started our careers, a lot of people moved away for one thing, and then our lives just got really busy, much busier than they were in college, and our plans got more sparse, and I got lonelier and sadder, and at the time I didn't realize that this was what was making me lonely and sad. Now I figured out that the happy medium for me is to see my friends, 3 to 4 nights a week, depending on how much other stuff I have going on. I need to make sure that my social balance is good. The next step for me is probably the hardest, and that is striking a work-life balance. I'm very fortunate that I get to do what I love for my job. However, that poses some difficulties. Because my work is my passion, it can be harder for me to enforce boundaries, to set realistic goals. Additionally, because my work is related to issues of injustice, working all the time can be really depressing. So this means taking time to do what I love, going hiking. I love to cook and try new recipes and have my friends over for dinner and make cocktails. I like to watch YouTube and documentaries and play piano and play my ukulele and have new experiences out in the world. Those things are really important. It's important for me to develop other parts of myself. So I'm working on making ample time for these things and not feeling bad about it. The last main step for me in my self-care regime is to make sure my intellectual needs are met. I crave information, I crave knowledge. If I'm not being challenged and stimulated in the right ways up here, I get bored and sad. I need to surround myself with people who challenge me, with ideas that challenge me, and that's the basic overview for me. So when it comes to building your own self-care regime, think about what your needs are, where those missing pieces are in your life, and how you can really bring it all together. And it's gonna take time. This is an ongoing, lifelong process. And I hope that your year is off to a great start. Sending you lots of love all over the world. Mwah! I'll see you next time.
Except your mom. Oh.
What?